Hi there, everybody. This is Linda Ray from Real Estate One. 2021's finally here. Did you ever think we were going to make it? Well, we did, and I think it's going to be a better year. So we're going to talk to you about real estate this year for 2021 and what is going to be different in case you're thinking about making a move. And I want to have you introduce you to my son-in-law, Pete Johnston, who's the head of our new construction and on the Linda Ray team, and none other than my one and only daughter, Paula Ray Johnston.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey. Listen, Paula, it's been a busy year already.
Very busy.
Right out the gate, right?
Yes, right out the gate.
People are ready to go, ready to move it, and let's talk about that. What do you see happening for 2021 right now?
Well, I have been receiving phone calls like crazy today.
Yes.
I've been receiving texts. Everybody is getting the itch to figure out what is going to happen this year. Is this the year to move? Is this a year to upgrade? Is this a year to reinvent themselves? So it's been really exciting. I took all morning trying to get off the phone with everybody. So what I want to say is, yes, it's going to be a great year for buying. Yes, it's going to be a great year for selling as well because the interest rates are great. And of course,
for many reasons.
For many reasons. And then, of course, you have those people that are in need to have assistance of helping them move before they do go to short sale or foreclosure. But it's very
if that happens.
If it happens, you've got some that are both, a little bit across the board. The majority of it is really going to go well, and interest rates are great. And I see that there's a lot of buyers out there, so there's still a lot of need.
Well, we do see a lot of people, a small amount of people anyway at this point that is maybe perhaps behind in their mortgages, job changes and so forth, and everyone's life seems to have changed in 2021 in some way.
Absolutely.
So we are on top of that, and if anyone should be in that situation, we really invite them to call us because we are actually going to do a couple videos this week for those particular people, and one is to have my CPA's assistant, which comes in and does my books before the CPA gets them, and she's just very helpful at how to set up your books for the year and how to help you out. And also Joe Beagleman, our loan officer, our favorite brokerage loan officer, is going to be in and do a video of telling you what the loan programs for 2021 are going to look like and help for those, all categories, but those people too that may be behind in their payment, or you just don't want to get behind and you want to reduce that cost either with the interest rates are extremely low, like record low, or you just want to downsize and maybe purchase something that's smaller. I'm seeing that happen a lot too, and get your budget under control. I also am getting a lot of people that's moving out of town.
Yes.
Either warmer climates, retirement.
A lot of early retirements.
A lot of early retirements, but many reasons, because maybe this is the time to get rid of the stairs and downsize into a ranch home. And boy, we have a lot of ranch homes too, don't we, Pete?
We do. Ranches have become the most popular seller. Had you asked me 5 years ago, I would have said no, ranches are not very popular, but they've made a resurgence now. But people don't want yesterday's ranch of flat roofs and low pitch and things like that. They want to take their big house that they had, shrink it down, but have volume ceilings, volume windows, so that the space that they gave up now all of a sudden becomes very big, lights coming in, they're not depressed, they're not going back into apartment living, so to speak, where we started out back in college.
Well, with open spaces of the houses that we build today, that really supplies that for them.
And the advent of us all living older now, how can you make it easier to go from one side of the house to the other? Minimizing steps, curbless showers right now. We don't want to call them handicap, we just call them easier of access, okay? We'll have tile floors, wood floors, light coming in from either skylights or bigger windows and things like that. And nowadays, as opposed to maintaining two homes, maybe you have a single home with your gourmet kitchen in it, the true gourmet kitchen, a commercial cooktop, an oven, a warming drawer, the wine columns in there. So truly the golden years, or the relaxing years, as I'll call them now, the next season in life, are enjoyed all in a smaller space, which is much easier to be maintained.
And also entertain and have family gatherings today too. We have more in-home gathering areas.
Right.
So you have like walkout basements with another kitchenette in the lower level. But we have like, this one is an open space between the kitchen and the great room.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just huge open space.
Yeah.
And this is where everybody gathers. You know, you and I talked to the builders for years about ranches before they really listened, right?
Right.
Because we were hearing what the clients' needs were.
Right.
Finally, of course, DM jumped right in there, one of the very first,
Right.
and took the chance to build ranches. And he has built a lot of them now,
Yeah.
which is Dominic Mattina, one of the finest builders in our community, both in Shelby Township and Oakland Township.
Yeah.
And we've been with them for what, 28 years or more?
At least, yep.
And so we really work hand in hand with him, and it's one of the first builders that I started working with, and he actually gave us the option of representing that buyer as well as himself, and I
Yep.
liked that from the
Right.
beginning, that we didn't have to just represent a builder
Right.
and forget about the seller. This way, we're out there, you're out there all the time protecting that buyer like crazy. I mean, if you don't like the way the cabinets are in, I've heard of you ripping them out, making them rip them out and put them back in.
Yep.
That's
So
feed.
your buyers are protected with us, and unlike most agents, they don't know really much about new construction whatsoever. So you're always hands up with them to be
Right.
able to get them to remember even the smallest things. I laugh about it, but when the cement's being poured, if you want a cornerstone or your handprint, now's the time. Don't forget to do that. Well, Pete does that, and he makes sure that it goes smoothly and one step at a time, which makes it easier, documenting everything and making the builder sign as well as the buyer.
Yep.
It
And
leaves happy customers that way.
And there's a trend coming back from Europe right now, which has worked its way into the Midwest and Colorado and stuff like that, with the merged family scenarios
Yes,
now.
yes.
And I don't want to call life's uncertainty, but as life is redefining itself, kids may have to come back for a period of time. Mom may have to come live with you. Unmarried Aunt Louie may have to come with you. So you can have ranches that have split living accommodations to accommodate multiple scenarios in life where you have multiple families in the same dwelling, but still need separate space. Okay?
And we have several spec homes
Yep.
too. You want to explain what a spec home
A
is?
spec home means that rather than waiting to deliver a home for you in 12 months, we've gone ahead and started the preliminary stuff by saying we're going to build a ranch here. It's going to be 2,750 square feet. It's going to have 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. Hey, we may be creative and have a loft room or a theater room upstairs as well as downstairs. So we're taking some of the guesstimate or the frustration out of making selections and making them ahead of you. So truly, when you get down to the last little bit on a spec house, maybe you're just picking out the floor and the countertops.
Your personal
we've,
items.
We've done the rest of it
The
for
personal
you.
taste.
Which means we've saved a lot of aggravation while you dwell in trying to figure out which selection is best for you or how much it could cost and things like that. We've done that, and we've packaged it hopefully for a better price for you.
Paula, we have a lot of listings coming in way before the holidays started.
Oh, yes. Good.
You want to talk a little bit about how many and why people are preparing their homes to sell right now?
Well, again, back to their life changing, their needs, whatever it is. And then what we have is been calling since probably fall. Not ready to do it yet, waiting till the end of the new year, see what's going to happen, see what they're going to, if they're going to retire sooner or later. So we've got a lot of those different scenarios, but just been doing a lot of calls, a lot of home
Asking for
views.
advice, too.
Asking for advice of what is really going to make the difference, because my husband wanted this and I think I should do the granite, and then we go through of what the numbers are and how much the neighborhood has changed and what you're really going to get out of the house, so you spend your money wisely.
Because they can overspend.
Overspend, and
There
then,
goes your profit.
then you spent your profit, but you have to do it where it's fresh and clean. And sometimes it's just not just about decluttering. That everyone knows how to declutter. It's about making it neutral, where everybody walks in and can see themselves living there, and that's what you have to really focus
And letting
on.
us help them get the best bottom line possible, right?
Again, this morning, that's been like 4 of my phone calls this morning. Can you please come over, and so we don't overspend for the neighborhood? Even though if we're not going to sell today or even 2 years from now, we just want to make
Just
sure.
don't do it now. Just call us first.
Right, they want
Don't
to
make
know,
those
should I
decisions.
spend X, Y, and Z in the kitchen? Should I redo all of the bathrooms? And I'm like, okay, let's sit down and look at the numbers and see what is the top priorities that will make a difference for your living today and selling tomorrow.
Well, one of them I happened to do today. I went on a market analysis. I usually say CMA, but I don't know if everybody knows what that is. It's a comparative market analysis, and they weren't sure if they should move now or in the spring. And they really want to get to another state and have grandchildren there, and grandchildren grow so fast that they're afraid they're going to miss all of
Big
that.
motivation.
Yeah, because it is, and with the flying the way it is today, it's not like you can go every weekend and see them or whatever. It's not as safe, but I went out and gave them that, and they decided, based on the information I gave them, because they're safe right now to move. We know what the interest rates are right now, so that gives the buyer more buy power.
Right.
We know where we are today, but we don't know where we're going to be 5 months from now. I have no glass ball out there to tell everybody exactly what it's going to be, and I don't think anyone does.
No.
So the fact is I like that word safe, and I've been recommending to a lot of them going out of state that perhaps maybe they'd sell high now, get their profitability, get their check in their hand, and especially those that's going to have cash buy. So if the interest rates go up, they've still enjoyed the good price here, with the buyer having that buying power, and then go rent a house in another state for a while. So you get acclimated, you understand the area, you want to know exactly where you want to live, and watch and see if they stabilize or go down. Because if the houses do go down, of course, that would be, and each state varies.
Absolutely.
Right, but in the Rochester area right now, due to the transitions right now, there are a lot of upscale apartments coming in right now for those people that haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
So what's a year's lease versus a 30-year mortgage or
Or making a
15-year?
mistake and
Oh,
jumping too quick.
absolutely.
Right. And if you take a look at City Walk right now, Cedar Woods, all on Rochester Road or
They're
downtown
absolutely
Rochester,
gorgeous.
they are luxury to the hilt, and you're strictly renting. And I know people will say, well, is that a good investment or not? It's probably a good investment if you haven't figured out what you're going to do for the long term.
And if you can get top dollar in your house
Right.
right now.
Right,
And
and
as
put
the
the money
season-
away and then
Yeah.
wait till you get to where you feel like, you know,
Right.
'cause like you said, when you get there, sometimes you're not really sure what your needs are.
That's
Right.
And your needs constantly are changing.
But if your relative is there, they can take you around, and I have agents in all kinds of states. We've got agents we hired last year from coast to coast, for example, in Florida, North Carolina,
Tennessee.
Texas,
Yeah, we got quite a few.
Arizona. And if you have a need to go out of state, for heaven's sakes, don't have us work real hard and make the best we can here and then go there and give it away with an agent that perhaps doesn't have your best interest at heart. Let us refer you to an agent, and they are responsible to answer to us, or they don't get any more referrals. One of the other things I wanted to talk about too, if you're worried about COVID when we are listing, or if you're looking at a home today, obviously right now, as of this minute, the mandate is we can only have 2 people in at a time based on an appointment. We cannot have open houses, but we can do virtual tours. You want to tell them how you handle that?
Virtual tours are very interesting, and it also sets up like a traditional open house, and you can come view it. And what we do is we take you through with our phone and do a video, and actually we go live. So if you have a question in particular, like say go in the kitchen, they have pull-out drawers. Look, can you open up the closet space and tell me what you think the dimensions are? Because I know those are big factors to me.
Where's the bathroom in conjunction to the living room? Or
Right, how does the flow go? Is there an area to put a mudroom if there isn't a mudroom? So as you go through with your camera, as we go live, you can ask questions, and you get to view many, many homes that way, and also rule out a lot of homes that you don't want to waste your time. What I do with most of my clients is I tell them there's 3 things I can do. I can do a showing, or I can do a video chat with you, or I can do a preview for you. And then I go through and I know what my clients are looking for, and I can tell them, and I vet them out, and I did this with the last 2 buyers and got them a house within less than 14 days, actually closed, got a deal, got it closed, inspection in 14 days, which is pretty amazing. However, but if you know what, you literally listen to your client, and you know what they want, you're going through and you're gonna weed those out. When you see a house that needs a lot of rotted wood, it needs new windows, it needs a new roof, those are things you're gonna say, hey,
it saves them from going to all those houses
right,
in the COVID time without
Having-
any need.
correct.
Just eliminate them.
right.
Eliminate them at
Well,
that time.
I like to do the work for the client as
Yeah.
much as I can. So when I bring them to a home, I say, okay, here's the 3 best I found this week. These are the 3 best that's on the table. So, you know, then we sit down and we go through all the numbers, we go through what they would have to do to tweak it to make it what theirs is, and see if it's a good fit for them. And that's how the last 2 went. And it was just amazing, and both of them wrote me great reviews yesterday.
It helps the sellers as well. as the
Absolutely,
buyers.
because you know then you can give them better feedback, because a lot of the agents don't give feedback, and it's really important that you do give that good feedback, because it might be something simple you suggest that makes a big difference in the sale of their home.
Let's talk about how we set the home up. This is for the buyers and the sellers, but when we list a home, we have a sanitation station with a sign when they first walk in the door. And you want to describe what happens with that, because this is a benefit to both buyer and seller.
Well, we have hand sanitizers that we leave at all of them. We have extra masks because I'm getting to the point right now, I think a new mask should be used on a daily basis, from everything I've been reading.
Or if they forget it.
Or if they forget it. We have booties, and we have gloves. So I always tell everybody, put one on your hand, your right hand, your left, whichever you are. And that way you can go through and open the cabinets if your agent, is there and you want to open up to look at the closet. That way you feel safe. There's a garbage can at the exit or the entry door where you came in, and you can throw it all out at that point. And it's always great to have the hand sanitizer in your pocket. I give this to each one of my clients as we walk in.
And take them,
I actually give them a care.
packet.
Yeah, I give my clients a care package because you'll go to a lot of houses and they don't have anything there, and just in case they forgot, so I have individual ones with all of this in my car for each one of the clients.
That is really good. One of the other things that we do to help to make sure that people aren't spending more time on what they should is the QR codes. In the house and on the sign is a QR code, which actually tells you more information than you'll ever find on the internet, MLS or whatever. So this is a QR code. We actually put in them. Paula, describe with some of the things extra that we put in, that information that they really going to need whether to make a decision or not.
Well, we're a big firm believer of QR codes. We've been using it for multiple years. It's been on our cars. It's been on all of our coffee cups. It's in the homes. It's in the brochures. And what you do is you scan it, and what happens is it opens up to everything that would be viable for you to make actually a decision, whether it's utility bills, it's the dimensions of the room, the taxes, what's extra, what has been done to the home, the upgrade list. That's the kind of stuff that you get. The QR code will not be found on the website. It will not be found on Realtor.com or any other Zillow or any of that stuff, because they don't allow you to put that in there. So when the buyer comes in, it's always wise to obtain that information. So when you're making a choice between house A, B, or C, and you can get that answers quickly. I mean, I don't know about you, but mine's a big thing about the utility bills. It's not about the utility bills. It's about how well is it insulated.
Yes.
To really educate your buyers, so that we go in and my buyers will say, how come nobody else has those? I go, well, they don't.
The internet also teaches them to ask for that information, doesn't it?
Oh,
you better have the answers.
You better have the answers, and if you don't, you better study it and you better find out how to get it.
It's also good for the appraiser when they come back in.
Absolutely, because everything's right there in their hands. They can take it, do the QR code, and they've got everything they need.
So the other thing I'd like to talk about quickly is the brochures that we put in the house. We have a color brochure that is just absolutely gorgeous, and we leave that in the house along with that other brochure that you could take with you. But we also would like to invite anybody that wants to have us come out for an interview of doing a listing, that we have a book that we've spent almost a year writing and actually have upgraded it already. And that's just the basic information beyond of what you actually would need, like seller's checklist, how we do a stager, what comes with us, what makes us different than the average realtor and the average team. Tips for buyers, tips for sellers, Zillow reviews, client testimonials, our humanitarian teamwork, the advantages of hiring a team. We're going to do a video on that this next week, because it's really super important. We're not just any team. We have a team of family members that are all top agents, but we also have a team behind us that is complete, an admin staff that keeps us, the rainmakers, out into the field. And I would like to invite you to that. We also have a couple of different things we're doing for the sellers, and I offered that to our listing this morning, was free COVID for your house. And if you want to talk about that.
The
geosphere, what that does, or Pete, do you understand, want to talk about that?
For you guys on that.
Okay.
The geosphere, actually, I've been buying it for all my buyers right now.
Yes.
I just feel like that gives them safety. I've had a lot of
If the listing doesn't provide
if the
it,
listing
which
does-
ours does.
Which ours does, but not a lot of them do. So a lot of them didn't even know what it was. When I tell them to go in there, we don't know who's been in the home. We don't know how well it's been sanitized. And, you just don't know. And especially if they're expecting or they've got little children, just so they feel safe and secure. And it gives them a clean, sanitized home from beginning to end. And it lasts for, I think, about 30 to 45 days is the first spray that goes through. And it's not only just on the walls, it's the furnace, it's the air conditioning. It's, to me, anybody with any asthma or any health issues or just wanting to have it sanitized, I think it's a great idea.
Makes you feel better, doesn't it? And the 48 days after this, do the second phase is COVID-free for 48 days. That's amazing. And I like the idea of that. And I want to throw one more thing in there that we're doing too for it, because I think it's so important. We work really hard to get your price net sheet where you want it to be, and then sometimes buyers come in on inspections, and all inspectors are not alike.
Correct.
Like real estate agents are not alike.
Correct.
So we have your house pre-inspected. We have a 15-point pre-inspection, which is the major things of the home. I don't want to sell a house, have the buyer come in and maybe they have already purchased one before, found some mold in the attic, there they lost their $500 on inspection. This way we have a sign that goes in your front yard that says this house has been pre-inspected, and it's the 15 top points. I want to make sure there's no mold in that attic. I want to know that the furnace isn't on the last leg, or there's water spots that needs to be examined or whatever. And we put that out there. Now the buyer, of course, needs to get their own inspection.
Absolutely.
But we have that in our back pocket.
This is for the seller to have knowledge of what they may or may not
And
need to do.
fix it up front and disclose it if there's an issue.
Absolutely.
But to also have knowledge that nobody's just telling them that they need a new roof when they in fact don't.
Correct.
So
It's like a second opinion.
it is, second opinion, but it's a proactive situation.
Right.
So we are, as your agent, more in control of what's going to happen to your transaction. There are so many things that we have put into motion that I have found that could cause a client a problem, and we stop that before it happens. We would love to have you call us out and to be able to give you just a sit down for an hour, have a cup of coffee with us, come in the office, have coffee with us. I really prefer the home so I can see the subject.
Right.
But we would love to show you the difference, and yet our commission is not any more than the average realtor. We will save you money and time. So we can be reached at 248-709-3786. And Pete?
At 248-770-8660.
And Paula?
248-770-8661.
And we have a lot of fun, don't we?
We do, and it's a family business, and you know, when you have family, it makes a big difference because we all want each other to be covered and back. So when you hire an agent, and I just want to put this in, when you hire an agent, you get 2 agents and they stay on the task from beginning to end. You don't get calls by 20 other people. We have great assistants, but you'll always hear from us, and I think that's really important because I want to get that really stressed out.
The communication stays
Communication.
with us. Yeah.
That every one of our if you read any of our reviews, that is the biggest thing we get, and to me, I'm the most proud of that. Communication, especially in a texting world, in a phone world, you still pick up the phone.
People want to know.
You want to hear their voice. You want
They
to
wanna
know
know.
what's going on.
Well, we've got a lot of things that we communicate with them on too, though. There are other ways, and if it's nothing but an emoji to make them laugh a little bit, right?
Emoji, videos, you name it, we've got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So give us a call, 248-709-3786, and you have a very special year.